shakes.
All right, we have 9 o'clock. Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, Shelby County Board of Supervisors meeting. We have a call to order. Conflict of interest.
None.
Approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes from May 6th. Any changes, Taryn?
I changed one wording on the treasurer's. I had motor vehicle and I changed it to driver's license in
Okay.
the last paragraph.
Motion approved with the change.
One second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any claims? Had a chance to look those over. They all look in order. You
Good
guys?
to me.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Steve Kinkle, Board of Supervisors Pipeline Liaison.
Morning, man.
Finally got something to report on, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we passed the bill last Monday. Wee hours of the night. It's not an eminent domain ban, but there are parts of it are. I send you guys an update. I was gonna get into the details just a little bit more so people knew actually what it could do. It's sitting on the governor's desk. She has 30 days to sign it or not. You know as well as I do if she's gonna sign it or not. It's gonna say a lot if she does or doesn't. So, there's 6 things in the bill. Because the media talked about it being an eminent domain bill, and it's partially is, but it's not a total ban on agricultural land for CO2 pipelines, okay? One of the things is it requires a clear and convincing evidence, which is a legal standard of proof that the project has a public use in order to use eminent domain authority in condemnation proceedings. This is a stricter standard than what it is now. It requires that the project meet the definition of a commodity or a common carrier to be able to exercise the right of eminent domain, and that the clear and convincing evidence standard be used to determine whether the project meets those definitions. Summit Carbon's project would not meet these 2 definitions as it is now transporting CO2 for disposal. So it's not a commodity where they're using it for anything. 3, a hazardous liquid pipeline company must provide evidence that it has enough insurance to cover all the damage resulting from construction and operations of the project. We heard this time after time after time up the IUB hearings where landowners were not going to able to get insurance, and so we would make the pipeline company have to provide that with this. Any loss due to negligence, intentional discharge of the pipeline, any injury to affected properties from construction or discharge, inability of a person to obtain insurance, all these costs would be borne by the pipeline company. Prohibits a renewal of the permit for a CO2 pipeline upon its expiration of 25 years. They applied for a 25-year permit, they're just holding them to that. Landowners don't have a choice, the ones that got eminent domain, so they want to see that this ends when they say it's going to end. Grants right to other people besides impacted landowners to serve as interveners in the proceedings before the Iowa Utility Commission. Last time, a lot of people were denied whether they were in the legislature, whether they were elected officials, county or city, and any residents that was close by, like neighbors, couldn't even come, and they were closer than people that maybe signed up for the pipeline.
Steve,
These
before
will all
we
be
get
allowed.
too far down here. The non-renewal after 25 years, is that just for that company, or could they sell it to another company? Or is the project done and the pipes have to be empty, or do you know that?
I do not know
Get into
that.
specifics, I know, but
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, there's
Your
probably,
renewal, I kind of question.
with anything, there's some wiggle worm.
Probably a loophole
room
there.
Yeah, I can't answer that. Okay, I'll find out. And the last one, this is kind of common sense, but you're surprised how it's been going on. It requires all 3 members of the IUC board to be present in hearings during live testimony, like at the IUB hearings. If any member is absent, the hearing would be suspended until they return. Requires at least 1 member of the IUC be present during informational meetings, like when they come to the counties. If no IUC members present, the meeting is paused until member returns. Like I said, it's pretty common sense, but it wasn't happening. The bill does not include an outright ban on the use of eminent domain for CO2 pipelines, which is what the landowners, our board, would like to have seen. The Senate chose not to take that up, and they took this up instead. And I think some of them have some reservations now. I mean, they had 3 years to deal with this, and they tried to do it in a day and a half.
In South Dakota, they have a ban, right?
They have a ban. Yep. Yep. The basic bill passed 27 to 22 and was sent down to the governor's desk. And here's a phone number if you guys would write it down. And for the public, right now the governor is asking for input. Whether you would like to see her sign it or not sign it, here's her office number. It's 515-281-5211. And you can call her every day if you want. I'm sure people for or against are doing that. And I know when South Dakota passed their bill, the governor, after I think 4 days, signed it because he said, I just will get this over with because the phones are ringing off the hook. So it does make a difference. So you can pass that on to anybody. Unfortunately, besides this, even if she signs it, and I mentioned that a little bit in my update, now the Trump's big beautiful bill, there's a provision in there, a bad provision in it, that would expand the federal eminent domain authority against landowners for CO2 pipelines. It would override any state eminent domain ban.
This is baloney.
I read some information this morning with, on the Senate, from Senator Thune from South Dakota. I think he's majority leader. He wants to strip that out. And I think with South Dakota and what they've done, and they've been very proactive, there's a chance I could come out, but it would just open up a huge can of worms. And again, it's in our Constitution. So I'll keep you updated as I learn any more there. You guys have any questions for me?
Guess some news is better than no news on that, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I did hear, I got some information last night that the governor's reached out to about 6 landowners who've been very proactive in this fight and wants to meet with them Thursday. What that will be about, I don't know. And I know, I was thinking of putting a press conference together before they meet for that. And if they do that on Thursday, I'll probably go down to that. So,
Great.
if there's anything else you guys have questions on. Okay.
appreciate the update.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Yep.
Chris Frederickson, Secondary Roads.
Good morning.
Morning, Chris.
Not a lot going on, just a few quick updates here. It's nice to see a little rain.
Yeah.
Help the roads, so maintainers will be out in full force again just as soon as it dries off a little bit, maybe even later this afternoon, but I think more than likely tomorrow. So they'll be back out. We talked last time about the culvert I was having sleeved on 900th Street. That was done yesterday. Company came in and the liner is in, so we are still out there grade and reshape the site, drip wrap the outlet, get that going and get that done. We should be out of that neck of the woods. We are going to do a little ditching and grading of 900th back towards 191 to try and get some of the water off the road while we're there. So that'll be a nice stretch to have done. Let's see, the bridge crew does have the pipe in on Umbrella where we removed the bridge. So that is another good job to have done. There is some minor grading to do on the roadway yet, so it is still closed until the rain stops and things dry up. Then we'll be back out to reshape that and get it back open again. So hopefully that will be a benefit to the farmers in the area not having a narrow structure to cross. Following that, we are going to move to Mulberry Road north of 2200th. There is a bridge there that we are going to rehab, take it apart. It needs a new deck and some different things, so that structure will remain, but it will be a legal bridge when we're done. Right now it's posted. So we should be up there hopefully within a week and a half or so.
Over the niche.
No, it's not. It's just a small creek. So hopefully in a week and a half, I'll try and throw something out when we do close that road. There is nobody that lives on it. So it'll just be, as far as hauling anything out, farmers might have a little bit of a detour, but shouldn't affect too many at this time of year. So get that done and get it opened back up and move to the next one. I guess the biggest thing, and last time we talked about it, the tires in the ditch. We did get all of the tires picked up. So just a couple of quick overviews, I guess, on this. In total, we spent 194 and 1/2 man hours picking these tires up. We also had equipment, obviously, that's included in this to transport the tires. We had our excavators out there to pluck the tires out of the creek. In total, we came up with 39 and 1/2 tons of tires. All of that, unless there's another area that shows up that we have not caught. Total cost, $24,057. So, a large expense to the road department that should
Yes.
have happened, so.
Haven't had any new ones lately that you know
No.
about yet?
No, nothing has shown up, and I hope,
Hopefully they get enough
I hope they're
publicity,
Yeah.
enough eyeballs are out there.
right,
Either went somewhere else or quit doing it altogether.
right. So, large expense and just something that everyone needs to be aware of.
I think there's a few spots on private ground too, so.
That, yes, and I know you're right, so all in all, there, you could throw a little more onto that for the total damage throughout the county. But, was a pain, but it's over hopefully, and we'll move on, so.
Good.
That's what I have for this update for you all, unless you've got any questions.
Had a maintainer die on the road?
We did, the end of last week, Wednesday night. It, main hydraulic line blew, and of course when it does that, everything just locks up. So it sat there overnight, and we went out the next morning, got her going, got it loaded up and back to the shop, and it's going again, so.
Good.
Maintain the maintainer.
That's right, it's a never-ending cycle.
That's right. All right, thanks Chris.
You bet,
Thanks,
thank you.
Chris.
Todd Valeen, chamber report.
Morning, Todd.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Just a few things to note. The SWITA Summer Fun Bus is back at action. So again, just as a reminder to folks, this can be used for kids 18 and under. And it can be used to get them back and forth to the swimming pool, get to a friend's house, get to grandma's house. They can even ride it to get to like Bible school, that type of thing. The cost of the ride is $1 each way, or they can pay $40 and then they have unlimited number of rides for $40. And they can give them a call at 712-243-2518 to register for it.
Just in Harlan for that price?
Just in Harlan for that price, and the hours are 8 to 5 that it can be used. Now this Thursday, if you get a chance, stop by the Harlan Library from noon until 5. They're having a farewell reception for Amanda, and then she'll head off for her new job as director of the Nevada Library. We have Tivoli Fest this weekend, Friday and Saturday. I mean, they've got a really busy calendar, a lot of different things going on, and they'll have fireworks both nights. So folks can either go to the Danish Villages Facebook page or the Danish Windmills website to see all of the different events that are taking place. One of those events will be Saturday. There's no registration required for it. but they're gonna do a mushroom foray from noon to 4 at the Elkhorn Creek Recreation Area. They're gonna have a group called the Prairie States Mushroom Club. You have people walk around with folks, show them the different types of mushrooms that are there, talk to them about what's edible, what's not edible, and that type of thing, so.
Chris, you got your wooden boots ready?
Wooden shoes?
Yeah.
No, I moved past that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So that should be some fun. And then at Nishnabend, that night at 7 o'clock, they're going to have a bioluminescent mushroom art demonstration, and which will include decorating yourself with the mushrooms. So make sure you wear something that you don't mind getting dirty. Just a reminder too that coming up quickly on Sunday, June 1st, will both be Art in the Park at Pioneer Park from 10 to 3 and Log Cabin Day from 11 to 3 across the street. So that's always a very busy time down there. It's always great to go down during those days. And then FMCTC is going to start up their summer picnics. Tuesday, June 3rd from 5 to 7 will be at the St. Boniface Parish Hall in Westphalia. Portsmouth will be Wednesday, June 4th from 5 to 7 at St. Mary's Parish Hall. And then Harlan's will be Thursday, June 5th from 5 to 7 at Betts. And then we have a few ambassador visits coming up. This Friday, we'll have an ambassador visit at Milk and Honey. Starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. They're celebrating 10 years being in business in Shelby County. We have one May 30th. It's actually out at our place for a company called Elevate Cyber Solutions out of Elkhorn. That'll start at 10 o'clock. And then we'll have a ribbon cutting on June 27th at Sunset Scoops at 2 p.m. They finally think they've got everything in. It took them a while to get everything built out in there, but they're finally done. And then just a new event that's kind of unique that'll be coming up on Saturday, June 19th. It's a Daddy and Daughter Tea Party. It starts at 3 o'clock and it'll be over at the Lyde Irwin Public Library. It says, come in your princess dress to enjoy tea and crafts with Dad. So that's a new event, be kind of fun for dads and their little ones to go to. So with that, that's...
I had the other dates. Tell me again, the Elevate Cyber.
It's going to be May 30th.
May 30th, okay.
Yeah, and start at 10. All right.
Thank you,
Good.
Todd.
Very much, Todd.
Consider approval of Lonely Oak Distillery, Class C retail alcohol license.
They're just renewing the current one they have for the next year.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Committee reports. Mike.
I didn't have any meetings this last week and a half or so. I would like to remind people of the Memorial Day's commemoration at Vets Auditorium on Monday, May 26th. Vets Auditorium, great day to remember those who sacrificed their lives for our freedoms.
I haven't had any meetings either. I got West Central meeting tonight, MAPPA meeting tomorrow, and SWPCO meeting Thursday. So
I'll just shout out, remember your county parks. A new trailer dump station has been put in at Mantino on the north side of the new campground there, so you can dump your trailers there. It's a really nice setup they have, and I think there's availability yet, so might be a little cool this weekend, but start a campfire.
I feel a little wet too yet.
Yeah.
All right, any department heads want to report? Alex?
We had a quiet week.
I never used the keyword. It's been an eventful week. So I just want to touch on a few things. First, obviously the glaring one, the water. The situation's improving. I know you guys have been on calls with that. All the towers are roughly 50% full. Everything's pressurized. They're sending bacteria tests over the next few days to the DNR, and hopefully they can get off a boil order. My fear with that is that they're still going to, if they go out the boil order, people are going to stop conserving as much as they have been, and we're going to be back in the similar boat where it's not pressurized and they have to go back on a boil order. So we're still trying to press their messages out as much as we can of they're in level red conservation. All the details of that are on our website, or on our Facebook page, on their website. You can find it different places. They're working, hopefully by Wednesday, they should have the pump for the Council Bluffs Waterworks project on hand. And by Saturday, they should have it hooked up and be able to be supplying water to our county. They had a few sleeves that were going under roadways that weren't quite up to spec, so they had to replace those, and are just kind of waiting on weather for that. So they were initially, they said 2 weeks, so it's been quicker than expected, thankfully. But that is their solution to this crisis, and hopefully that'll be the sustainable one for moving forward. We do have a cache of drinking water, bottled water. It's about 6 pallets worth. We're holding that for emergency use only. So if something catastrophic happens and people have no water in their homes, we have a distribution plan we can set up and start handing that out. We've been working this under 4 counties. Us, Audubon, Pott, and Harrison have been working together. We all talk with Regional Water, meeting on a regular basis, and all kind of push them, and they agreed to purchase their own drinking water for their customers. So they have a stash of drinking water. If people don't feel like boiling it, or we might have a 1 or 2 house issue where they lose pressure, call Regional Water and they can get you drinking water. If it's a large scale thing, then EMAs in the different counties will step in to handle that. We're still meeting every other day with Regional Water, at least for this week, and we'll be sending out situation reports to all the stakeholders. Then last part on that, I did send out, I don't think I sent it to you guys, which I should have, and I'll send that out today. All the mayors and fire chiefs, Audubon County EMA set up a QR code that signs you up for regional water alerts. They send out their own alerts like Alert Iowa does. So I had them set it out in all the banks and post offices and all the towns that are covered by regional water. And I'll send it out to you guys too, so we can maybe get it in the courthouse for those that are covered by it. So yeah, that's about it on the water side.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the Council Bluffs distribution effort to get the pump in and get it going?
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday in the phone call, they talked about putting in a larger pipe to run parallel to that or in place of that for future use.
Yeah, so and I'm
still in works, I assume then. And
right. I'm not sure exactly what their future project with it looks, but they're talking about laying another pipe to supply water back to them. Like if maybe they don't use the full amount that they're getting.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on how that'll work, but I do know that the pipe that they're getting, or the water they're getting from Council Bluffs, will cover their entire western side of their service district. So everybody on the western side will be on Council Bluffs water essentially, and everybody on the eastern side will be on regionals wells. So they said they should essentially double their supply as soon as they turn that on. So
Awesome.
the other thing, there was a bill that was introduced. I forget. I don't have the number on me. I'll get it to you. Last minute, a couple days ago. It's kind of been a whirlwind, and there's been a lot of public safety people opposed to it, and they're drafting up letters to give to the governor. There's a line in the last part of this bill that says that the state Homeland Security will reimburse counties for any costs related to 911. So right now, the state covers a lot of costs regarding call routing and things like that. So they're trying to push that back on the counties, and that was something that was never talked about. It was just kind of thrown in the last minute, and they're saying that's going to bankrupt a lot of smaller PSAPs or 911 centers. We're standing okay. We could probably absorb, and we have no idea exactly what it is. We could absorb some of that cost, but everybody's adamantly opposed to it, and they're pressuring the governor to strike that part of the bill. So once I get the letters from our district, or from our stuff, I'll send them out to you guys so you can see them too. And then lastly, we have an event on June 4th from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Turkelson Center. We'll be sending out a flyer today to everybody, but it's lessons learned from the tornado. We're going to have a lot of different people on a panel. I'll be kind of emceeing the event. We're hoping to get people from the public who are affected by the tornado and just people who are kind of interested to find out what we learned. Essentially what we're going to talk about is, emergency side from both public safety and, citizens. Everybody knows to do it when they have a tornado. They go to the basement. A lot of people don't think about what's going to happen if my house blows away. How am I going to rebuild? What steps do I need to take? What options are out there for funding that I can apply for and I can't apply for? So we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff at this. We're going to have reps from the state, Homeland Security. We're going to have reps from Department of Ag, some different preparedness people that were there, and then some individuals who were directly impacted, kind of speak their story and give their advice. And then we'll also have somebody for insurance, because biggest thing we found was that most people were really underinsured, especially with a lot of the costs that were going. The costs went up, but insurance, a lot of places didn't. So that'll be June 4th, 6:30 to 9:30, or 6:30 to 8:30, excuse me, at Turkleson Center. Send you guys out a flyer for it.
It's a good event.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for putting that together.
Yeah, it's been, and we'll have one of our reps there, and it's been us with the chamber and Iowa Western and Extension and a lot of people. So,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a boring week, maybe.
I'm looking forward to one.
Anything else? If not, we are adjourned.